pond is here and we have something that is going to completely revolutionize my life. Guys, I'm about to pee my pants with excitement. Water! Out of a hose pipe! What a novelty! Okay, well we'll have to wait till we get home to see whether there's anything on the SD card. Good morning, Obi. You okay? Hi. Look at those horns. I know. Oh, you're getting jealous, Monty. You're getting jealous. You want a scratch? Well, you like a scratch behind your head, don't you? Because you can't reach there. I know. But your horns are very, very rough. These horns, even if he doesn't mean to headbutt you, they are so rough. If they clip you, they can easily scrape the skin off. You're a good boy, aren't you? Yeah. So, market garden is over there. Pond is here, and we have something that is going to completely revolutionize my life for the short term anyway. You can see a hose pipe coming across and a battery pack, and down there a pump. So I've been wanting to try this out for a while, but until the house sale went through, we didn't have any spare cash. And then as it happened, I had saved this Bosch water pump into my wish list, and then it was Amazon Prime Day and it was half price. I'll put the link to it if you want to see what it is. I'll put the link just below. I think normally it costs about 140, but I got it for 70. And what it is, it's not actually a water system made for gardens. It's just a water pump. So, you know, if you're wanting to pump flood water out somewhere, you have this pump. The nice thing about the pond is it has a mesh, so it sieves all the mud and bugs and stuff out, so it's not going to clog. So that goes into the water like that. And then the other really nice thing, because obviously we have no power up here, it works on a battery. So it's a rechargeable battery. It's Bosch, as I said. I had a bit of initial issue. I thought this was a hangy thing, but actually what it actually does is, if you see, if I turn it on now, it doesn't work. But so what this does is it clips that into place. So that's your on button. The other nice thing is you can set it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes and 15 minutes, which is perfect if you just want to irrigate or fill up a load of tubs over in your garden. So what we're going to do is let's turn this baby on. Are you going to turn on? There we go. And let's put it for 5 minutes. And then let's go over to the market garden and I can show you what happens that end. Water! Out of a hose pipe! What a novelty! So honestly, I am super surprised with the pressure from this pump, because I expected just a trickle. It's quite a way to come across from the pond in terms of building up water pressure. But as you can see, this is some serious good water pressure. Now at the moment I do need to get a longer hose because it doesn't quite reach the garden, and I'm thinking actually if I attach it to an irrigation system, then I can just turn it on twice a day when I'm here for 5 minutes and it should just drip feed through the garden. The other thing is at the moment I can't even reach quite far enough to spray the beds, so I do need to get a slightly longer hose, but this is just gonna make things so much easier. And then the 5 minutes is done and you just get a little bit of a trickle. So just to talk a little bit about our off-grid water systems here, we are not on any water at all, and in the long term it is a plan to get piped water up here, because moving forward, especially with livestock, cows and pigs for example, we need to have water on tap if we need it. I'm quite happy to use as little as possible and rely on other methods, but I just want that backup of having piped water. But at the moment we basically have kind of three off-grid water practices. The first is I bring water with me from home. So I've got some big 5 litre bottles, and you've seen that over the past year or so. I fill them all up at home, I shove them in the car and I bring them over. Now obviously if you've got a bigger transport, you could even have an IBC on the back of a truck. You could take that home, you could fill that up, and then you could take it to your farm. So that's another option as well. Whatever can fit water in, you could fill it up from your house tap and take it to your farm. The second way we use is rainfall. So our barn over there, at the moment we're rigged up only to this side, and this is the smallest roof size, and it comes down a pipe there and it fills up. There's 2 water butts and an IBC beneath it. But the plan is we've got some guttering for the back of the pheasant tree to put all along there, and then also what I want to do is I want to put guttering and a water butt on this shed, so to capture as much rainfall as possible. And now third is our use of that natural pond, or you could call it a swale. So that is completely natural pond. We've not put it in, it's been there for donkey's years. Last year it did dry out, but this year it's looking, I think the weather is looking like it probably will be okay and it will maintain some water. Now obviously when you're taking water out of a pond, it's not going to be completely clear, because this is where all the leaves and stuff are falling into the pond and they're breaking down. So you've not got completely clear water. The nice thing is though, I mean, it is fairly clear. It's just got that slightly brown tinge to it. And also because, as I mentioned, with that filter mesh on the pump itself, it's bug free. So one of the things I was finding with watering the garden, I was having to go to the pond and push my watering can in and then take it back here, but I was finding because there's a lot of algae and bugs and stuff, they were getting into the rows on the end of the watering can and making it so difficult because it would just keep getting clogged up. This way, it's all filtered out. So it's you know, this I'm not going to drink it myself, but this is very nice water from that pond. And the hope will be that we can kind of rely mostly in terms of watering the garden and giving water to the animals. And the water from the animals comes from the rainfall, because that's a lot clearer and cleaner. And then watering the garden will hopefully come from this swell. But the hope is that that will provide most of my water requirements until obviously we move here and we get the water piped in, and we obviously then need it for our own house. And also next year when we upgrade to the pigs and the cows, we will also need more water. But I'm loving it. The other quick tip I've got for you actually is, if you're worried about water in your livestock, is just get your animals on pasture and off hay and concentrates as quickly as possible, because they get so much moisture from the plants they eat. And especially if you're leaving grass longer and things like we are, that traps dew, it traps moisture. So at the moment, so for example, in the winter, when it's still wet and there's a lot of humidity, the goats were only getting concentrate and hay, and they were going through about 3 buckets of water a day, because they're not getting any moisture from their food. Now they are out eating this forage all the time. I've probably only filled up their buckets once in the past week. The same with the sheep. I don't give any water to the rams because they have the pond within their paddock, so they just drink from the pond. The sheep as well, I probably only fill their bucket of water up once every fortnight, even in the heat, because the grass is really long, it's trapping lots of moisture and dew into the bottom of it, so as they eat they just naturally pick up the water from that. The only things that I'm using a lot of water for are the poultry, and that's because they bathe in it, and they're ducks, so they bathe in it and they poop in it and they get it filthy, so I have to tip it out and refill it. But if you're struggling with water in terms of your bigger animals, get them out, get them on grass, leave the grass as long as possible, leave the forage as long as possible, because they will naturally just take up a lot of moisture and they won't need as much of a water source, and they won't go through it as rapidly. Guys, I'm about to pee my pants with excitement. There is a male turtle dove calling. I'm just going to see if I can find him. Well, I wouldn't have believed it unless I saw it. And I did see him. Obviously I couldn't get any footage. They are super secretive birds. Not in the least, because hundreds of thousands of them get murdered every year as they migrate over here from down in Africa. And so this little Jap has obviously survived the firing squads to come here. I hope he can find a lady. I hope he can breed. And I hope that now he's survived once, he can survive multiple times, multiple years, and keep coming back. But honestly, I had no way. I knew the farm was wildlife rich until we moved here, but because we were only up here every, month or so previously, we only got a very small snapshot into what was actually here. So in the last month, we found orchid, two types of orchid, the common spotted and the bee orchid. We've seen the grass snakes, the white throat, there's yellowhammer, and now to know that there's a turtle dove here, gosh, isn't it exciting? So yesterday I picked up a trail camera finally, and I set it right at the bottom of the field where I know there are deer trails and things. So let's go and take a look if we've got anything. The goats are here. The goats, when they find a spot, they come back to it day after day after day until they find a new spot. But where we're going is right down there. So this is the spot. Clearly things come through here from that field and walk along here. I should have worn boots. I'm absolutely drenched. But there's some deer poo down here as well. Let's have a look on the cam. Now, I must say, this is the first time I've used the camera, so, it may have not worked. I may not have set it up properly. But let's have a little look if there's anything on it. Oh, I'm wondering whether the batteries have run out. Oh no! I think they have. Okay, well, we'll have to wait till we get home to see whether there's anything on the SD card, and I will also get some new batteries today to run it. Well, there was nothing on that SD card other than me going in and out to put the batteries in to turn it on. So when I actually went to put it in, just before I put it in, two huge female roe deer ran out of right that corner. So it's probably that I've spooked them and they probably won't come back for a few days. So what I intend to do, I never go down to that corner, and in the past 3-4 days I've gone down every single day, and so suddenly there's human smell and human disturbance and stuff. So I'm going to leave the camera for a few days. I'm not going to go and check it. It's got new batteries in it that are now full, so it should run quite happily, and we'll go back and check it next week, and hopefully, because I haven't been down there, we'll actually get some activity. And here I've just seen 2 turtle doves fly over there and land in the hedge. Now I know what they look like and how they fly. It's actually quite distinctive. Today is a marvellous day.